Hey everybody, welcome back to Transport Fever 2. I hope you're having a great day today. This video has post commentary, at least we're starting that off that way. I've tried to remake this thing like 4 times, and I kind of decided that instead of, trying to spend hours upon hours editing this thing together to make it look like it's all seamless, I'm just going to talk over it. Because I went ahead and I started to record this right after I needed to take care of some stuff around the house, and I did some dad duty stuff. My kid had a bunch of his friends downstairs here in the basement, and no matter how many times I tell them to stay away from my office, they're kids, okay? They're like 7 and 8 years old, and there's a bunch of fancy computers, and ooh, Aiden's dad's a YouTuber, so let's go see what he does, because obviously the kids, they, watch YouTube and they watch little Minecraft videos and things like that. So like they're just fascinated by all the stuff I had, the lights and everything. And anyway, I'm pretty sure they were hanging around my desk when I told them not to, because the microphone cable that connects into my microphone was apparently loose to the point where speaking into it was registering sound, so I could see my waves going up and down like while I'm talking, so I didn't think anything of it. But apparently it was loose to the point where my microphone didn't sound very good. It sounds very warbly, sort of. It sounds bad. Here's a preview. Okay, so let's start here in Wichita Falls and also in Newport. These are kind of like the 2 places where our trains got their beginnings. Anyway, I can't have the entire video sounding like that. So this is what we got. Yeah, cool. I also had a little bit of a sort of monologue about Transport Fever 2 and how it wasn't, kind of like, I had a whole bunch of stuff I was saying in this video, and I don't remember everything that was in there, but in summary, Transport Fever 2 has sort of been on hiatus because I have found other games that I needed to make content for, because I have a couple of sponsored projects, but I also have just found a lot of fun in another game. Sorry, TF2, it's not you, it's me, right? I found love in another game, and I've been spending a lot of time into that because my schedule is getting restricted again, and I have very limited time for this. Obviously, many of you guys know, new dad and everything, so I'm not a new dad, okay? I'm not a new dad. My son is 7, but I have an 8-month-old, okay? So I'm a new dad again, and it's taking up a lot of my time. And so when I have limited time, really restricted time, I still want to create stuff, but I do tend to focus it on the things that are most fun. And so I've kind of been, doing a lot of workers and resources and stuff, and I'm going to be doing that for like the rest of the year. So anyway, Transport Fever 2. Today we're focusing on passengers, trying to move a new type of cargo around the map, okay? And I don't want to redo it all and just record as if it's the first time or anything. I didn't want to redo it all because it was like a lot of work. I did like 3 hours worth of work here. So for the first time ever, at least in this series, we get a time lapse. And this is all the stuff that we did and how I made all the rails. And then I'll give you a quick sort of tour about how all the things work right after the time lapse. So enjoy. right, so maybe not the most glorious of time lapses you've ever seen, but I wanted to get you at least familiar and set up with passenger trains and sort of some of the stuff that we had to do in order to get that running. Essentially, we've got these extra tracks that have all been put in on the extra sides here. And for the most part, passenger trains don't interfere with cargo. And this is a good example of that, as they have a completely separate line that they're going to be running through here. However, you might also notice that the look of the tracks are all different. And that's because I've pretty much upgraded all tracks to the high-speed tracks. There's several different things that are now available in the game because it's much later in the years, right? It's now 1932, actually. So many, many years have passed, I think, since the last video, which is, you know, like a month ago. Yeah, I do apologize. It's just, you know, I want to continue playing Transport Fever 2. I want to, but there's just other things that I want to do more. So I'll revisit this, but I don't know. I'm not going to do every day, obviously. And then there is, you know, high-speed rail going through here and everything. Each of these passenger trains that are electric, I think it's electric train, the first style or first build, and then it's West Jordan, Newport, Wichita, I think is what it was. Yeah, Wichita, Newport, Jordan, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. It's just the name that I came up with before, and it's just like, you know, whatever. They have these serial style names for various different lines and stuff that you normally see sometimes. So yeah, there are various different changes like this, but passenger trains are working quite well. And these, of course, are the electric trains, which means we needed an electrified rail throughout this whole thing. Remaking this was, it looks fairly clean, I think, but remaking this was actually pretty much of a pain in the ass before. And I actually had to leave for a second, and I came back and I was like, I don't know if I want to play. I don't want to redo this rail right now. And I just, like, you know, go back and play Big Ambitions or something. So we had this sort of rail put in right here. This is a passenger rail that takes people around. I was running into an issue where I wanted passengers to be able to get in sort of a loop, like an actual loop for various different locations. And what I found was I could go from Wichita Falls to Newport in West Jordan, but I had no real way of getting passengers from West Jordan over to San Antonio. Because of how these rails are built, they're kind of built for the cargo trains, and they're all kind of connected right into the cargo areas, which, by the way, need to all be upgraded to be able to support these trains. Now, some of these I've upgraded with high-speed rail because it is a through track, remember? So I don't want the trains to lose their speed. And so if the train goes through here, I want this to be the high-speed electric rail, so it is upgraded that way. But the stations have their own platforms that need upgrading. So if I go to configure, you can see that we have these standard tracks with the catenaries already on them, and this didn't exist before. In fact, a couple of things that I can do now didn't exist before, one of which is the depot. Initially, when I tried to make the electrified rails and I tried to buy electrified trains, I tried to buy them from here. Well, I can't do that because this is the old depot, and this train depot does not have the catenary here. And there's no way to upgrade it, at least from what I can tell anyway. There's no way to upgrade this building to include that. So you basically have to just tear it down and rebuild it. So instead of doing that, I just came over here and I built another one. And that's sort of what you saw in the video. I built another one with the catenaries, everything there. And it sort of just brings it to the various different positions, I guess the tracks that it needs to go to in order to be good to go there. So lots of different rails, lots of different lines. And the passenger line is, again, trying to keep it as separate as I can from cargo. So you can see cargo trains are using this side. That's going to always be the ones where you can clearly see them polluting. But the passenger rail lines, this one here is actually an oil train that is also an electric train. So I've electrified my oil trains as well because they can go faster and do things like that. But this right here, it takes a completely different route for passengers than it was before. So let's follow this really quick and I'll show you. We'll just speed this up a little bit. So automatically the passenger trains are all the way on the right side here, and they're using these when everyone else is using different ones. So that's a passenger train right there. And they end up going through this tunnel that takes them under the ground, okay? They go under the ground in this tunnel, okay? Which I find to be kind of cool because I was trying to figure out how am I going to get the passengers over on the left side of the track. I need to be over here. And the tunnel is what I came up with, and it works really well. It's a fairly elegant solution, I suppose. It gets the passenger trains, again, to be completely separate from cargo, running right along the same, right along the same path-ish, right? They will eventually meet in, and then this train right now is going off across the bridge, so it's going to go this direction. But if a passenger train was to go towards San Antonio, they would have taken this path instead, going that way. They would have went this way, and then they would have went all the way over this way, and they'd be on this track and then merge over. No, sorry, this is the one that goes across the river. My bad. This is the one that's going to San Antonio. We can actually see it right now. All right, so the bridge, excuse me, this is the one that goes to San Antonio. So it comes around, and eventually this passenger train can now go all the way over pretty much anywhere we want. Once it gets to San Antonio, you can kind of go wherever you want. So we can get passengers going to Winston-Salem, for example. We can get to Syracuse, everywhere. The entire rail network is at my disposal now for that. So I haven't connected it up yet, but this is Winston-Salem, of course, and we want to get passengers coming through here too. Excuse me. So we've got the catenaries already put in here. It's not a high-speed rail, but I don't think there's really a reason to do a high-speed rail in the stations like this because they're stopping anyway. So unless it's a through track, right? And I kind of messed up and did it here, but then I realized that I don't really need to do that. So these are the high-speed rails, and as long as we can get the passenger train to use this and get into here, that would, of course, allow us to have that, and then we want that passenger rail to continue on this direction and eventually meet up and get it all on these same two tracks where then we eventually merge into one track. And I think that's probably not necessary anymore, right? Because we're loaded with cash now. So having only one going under here, probably not something that's that needs to happen this way anymore. So I think I want to, start by remaking this part. And we can do so just by, I'm just going to get this kind of to hug along the side here. You can see how the speeds do not stay, right? This is a 186, but as you get to this curve, it slows right down, right? And it looks like it, to me anyway, that this has reverted itself back to kilometers. So let me just real quick go back in here and no, speed limits, miles per hour. Oh, right. Because this is high-speed rail, the rails can now go well in excess of 100 miles per hour. Okay, so we're going to, forgive me, I haven't played this in almost a month, so it's been a bit. We're gonna, I think, take this rail around, and I gotta actually be mindful of the actual speeds we have because I'm not entirely convinced that. Well, I think I probably want to disconnect this one, right? Yeah, so as we go around this, you can see that the trains definitely have to slow down to go through this tunnel. And that's not, the original intention was not to have that happen, but as we have high-speed rails now, they clearly have different requirements. And it looks to me like it doesn't, like what's the fastest you can go through this, right? 153? I mean, that's pretty fast still. But then this curve is going to bite us too. Like this curve is going to slow us right down to under 100. So we might want to look into doing this a little bit differently, possibly taking us a more of a straight line approach this direction. Although the elevation changes are, I think, what's ultimately going to cause a significant problem there. But if I stay flat right along this, maybe that will be okay. Or we just say, you know what, screw it. We just need two trains to go under here. You know, it's going to slow them down a lot more than having a curve. Having to stop at a signal and wait. That's going to really halt them. So I guess it's like, I don't know about a necessary evil or anything here, but I think I'm probably going to have to just suck it up and say, okay, well, we're going to have a little lower than that speed as you come through the tunnel. So why don't we go ahead and do that? So I'm trying to figure out which side of the track I want to be on too. So it's going to be on this side. We've already got these two like this, so I feel like it should go this way. And if that's the case, then I now need to kind of change this one, right? Yeah, also these are keeping left instead of keeping right. And over here, we have keeping right. So that's going to mess things up too, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I probably wasn't thinking very clearly here, was I? All right. Well, we're going to have to find a means to get these guys to cross. It shouldn't be too difficult, honestly, because these are both two-way. So I think if I just switch the signal, then we should see... Well, no, because they go completely different. Yeah, they go to different places too. So this part's a little complicated for passenger rails. Perhaps I take the passenger rail around this. I just make a completely new tunnel that's dedicated to only passengers. I think possibly that's what we should do. Because again, I have a lot of money. I have the money to spend. So maybe I just allow that to be a thing. I just go like that, for example. I mean, again, we don't need 186. We don't need 186 right away here. You're stopping, so we can maybe have you hug this a little bit. That's more than fine, I think. And then we can have you do the same on this side, kind of like that. So we get you guys all equal like that. And then again, we're trying to keep these all separate as much as possible. So I think it actually makes some sense to just run another set of tracks. Even though it's, you know, a lot of extra cost, I'm not double dipping tracks anywhere. I think it still might be all right. You see that slowdown we're gonna get there though? I don't want that. I want this to keep going as fast as it can, right? So I'm thinking, because this is passenger rails, and passenger rails speed I think matters a lot more, because passengers are all about time too, right? They care about the time it takes, not just the top speed. Maybe? I don't know. I actually don't remember how this goes. I used to know. When I was recording before, I used to know. And then I've since forgotten. So let's see if we can't just sort of get this to go as close to 180 as possible here. It looks like we can get it to 175 is what I saw there just a bit ago. 156 is the low one. This seems okay. Yeah, we'll do something like this. So again, it's this completely separate line for passenger trains, and it does look like we're staying right around that 180. It's slowing down a little bit, but no big deal. And now we're gonna have to cut into the mountainside to make this happen. But I still think it's important to do it. So we're gonna say this comes all the way over like this, at least to this point. Yep. That maintains speed, even going through two intersections there. And so we'll bring you all the way over here too. Sort of like this. There we go. And let's go ahead and bop that. All right. Now, where is my passenger trains going to come in? Well, I was kind of thinking of putting them here, because this is where, you know, all the residential's here. So if I can just get the passengers to be here, it keeps them out of this, right? I don't want them to interfere with all this. So I'm thinking, if we're putting a passenger station here, we can, not even a terminus, just a regular passenger station right here. It doesn't have to be, whoops. Like different controls, man. Different games, different controls. I think if we can set this right around here, we can see that these guys can all reach it, and then, you know, we could kind of expand an inner city route that takes people through this, and then the train ends up being over here. Now, that does mean it's going to slow down before it gets to this area. For sure, it's going to slow down, but it's going to stop here anyway. So I don't think it matters much if it slows down like to an extreme. I'm just trying to take a look really quick at the angle we're coming in, and I feel like I should have gone closer to this area here, but it's kind of, I mean, I don't want to say it's too late, because we could always delete it. It's just money. But if I was to bend you this way just a little bit, all right, and then try to get you to come around like this. Now, this is obviously, again, slowing them down for sure, going to slow us down, but I don't want to slow it down that much. So if I can maybe avoid having a bridge, that'd be great. And I don't think I can avoid a bridge. This elevation is way different. All right, so I'm not going to be able to do that. Let's maybe bring this back a little bit. See if we can't maybe get this to behave at 186. We curve it this way just a little bit. Yeah, I want you to behave here. Let's have you go about like this. Now, if I was to turn you, I get it. You're gonna have to slow down, but there's like no way to get in there without an extreme slowdown, right? I don't want an extreme slowdown. Maybe we start. I mean, yes, I can add a passenger terminal to this, but I don't want to add the track to it. That's my problem. And maybe it's better to do it that way. I mean, it's just digging into the mountain, but you have a track here, and then you just bring everybody in, and then the train just does what it does in the same area. I'm gonna try it this way anyway. I don't know how well this is gonna work, but I'm gonna try it this way anyway, just because I want to. So we're gonna put passenger station, I think, right up against this road, and we're gonna put it about, I think, about like this. We're gonna see how well this does for us. Maybe we, maybe there. Let's see if I can make this happen. So we're gonna take the tracks. Doesn't really need to be high-speed rail at this point because it's like they're not gonna be going high speed here at this point. They're gonna be going. They have to slow down. Like there's no way I'm turning this without slowing down, unless. Well, I mean, I still think they have to slow down, but let's just see. Maybe I can work out something here. If I can get you to be able to travel, yeah, like 85 through here, that seems pretty good actually. So if I can maybe go this direction instead, then I could meet up on this side, because again, it is a separate track, so let's try to, and it also prevents me going through multiple intersections. Maybe this will work out better. Instead of going in there, the passenger trains will come around and they get stopped right there. Now, if I was to do that, that's not bad. I mean, it could be better, but they're already at like 80s here, right? So they gotta turn sharp to get in here. It's gonna gradually slow down till it gets to the station. I think that's probably acceptable. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. I think that's gonna be acceptable for me. So right through here, 112. Again, they have to slow down for the curve anyway. There's no avoiding that. There we go. I mean, there would have been okay, could have totally avoided that if I just added to that station, but I'm trying to do it a little different this time. I gotta make the game more interesting because, like, again, with money being seemingly infinite right now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't know about the fun factor of the game right now. I mean, I feel like I gotta do things like this. You know, I gotta just do different things, you know, do something completely different just to make it interesting. Oh, and you know what? This is that thing again where people are gonna say, you should do it this other way because I said so. So I will. Here we go. We'll have this added like this. Do you have the electrification? Yeah, that side already does. Okay, good. And then we'll put the other passenger platform on this side. And there you go. Passenger platform on both sides now. With tracks in the middle. Okay. I certainly don't need high-speed rail right here, but it's fine. The cost is worth it. Okay. So there we go. I think we slowed down at a reasonable level there to get into this station. Again, they're going to stop anyway, so whatever. So on this side, we want to go out, I think, pretty straight here. I don't want to disrupt the city too much, so we'll go fairly straight through this. And that does kind of disrupt this road, sorta. But I feel like the road, if they really want to, what we could do is something like this. We can give them, this is a small street, right? Yeah, we'll give them a crossing. Let's say right next to the station, okay? Look, you want to develop, then just go right next to the station. Okay, there you go. Right in there, okay? Love it. It's probably gonna be really crap when we have a train that's too long, but it's fine. I don't know how much longer I'm playing Transport Fever 2. I gotta tell you, am I having fun with it? That is a legit question that I don't know about yet. I know it sounds like I'm having fun right here, but to be honest, guys, there is definitely I have a lot of other games that I need to cover. And I say need because in some sense, they're games I've been waiting for. Really good ones that I've been waiting for. And then there's others that I'm legitimately being paid to cover. And I'm going to have some sponsored projects. And so it's, I don't know how much time I can commit to this. I like this, but I like other things too. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see. We're going to take third track, yep, right there. So we're just going to bring this under, and look, we got ourselves a completely separate, much wider tunnel. We like wide tunnels. I like my tunnels. Nice and wide, man. All right, so this track, though, goes this way. So I don't like tracks that don't go the right direction. So let's try that. Go there, and then this one goes out like this. All right, so you are a little bit too far out. Let's bring you back. All right, and then we're going to curve you to this point. Is it this one? That one, isn't it? Yes, that's the one. And then you, same thing. Coming all the way around and connecting to that one. Okay. So that gives us passenger rail over to Syracuse and sets us up to bring that passenger rail over to Riverside. Now, Riverside has a passenger terminal, right? It's going to be on this side too. So what we need here is we've got two options. I'm going to have the train come in on this side, but also on this side with the other track. So we're just going to place one of these end stations right here, and this is where passengers will line up on this terminal, okay? And we don't need to be high speed, even though I've done it already on this side, but it doesn't need to be high speed. So we're going to go ahead and put the tracks in, and I need to figure out where this is at. So this is going that direction, which it shouldn't be. And then it goes out that way, merges onto this. So I'm thinking, I'm not sure what I was thinking before, but I think I'm going to do it. I was trying to merge it onto the same rail. And maybe that's okay. In this instance, maybe this is fine. Because I'm starting to think I don't necessarily need to have... Yeah, you know, I think I was onto something before. This whole, keep them all, separated thing, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. Certain things, they're definitely better separated. But in this particular case, I find a merger to be an attractive endeavor here, because I think it's going to be cleaner for all these rails. And maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. I'm going to try it out anyway. We're going to say you go this way. Oh, you're not going to let me. Well, if they won't let me merge on with full speed, then that's a case to the contrary then, isn't it? So I guess we'll just do it that way. Yeah, so if I'm going to do it that way, admittedly does make it a little easier, I suppose. We'll want to remove this junction. Okay, so that is no longer connected there. And we are going to instead... I think I want to wrap this a little bit... I want to say sooner, go that way, but... There is really no harm in just keeping it this way, other than there's this small segment right here where it's 67. And I'm obviously trying to avoid the 67 here. So I'm thinking if I wrap this just a little bit sooner, and there's an uphill factor to this too, so that might play a role as well. But let's just see. Is there any way that I could avoid a 67 mile per hour speed limit here? See, that is okay. This doesn't even drop us below 100, so I like that better. And then this rail will do the same. That's going to be 90s or something, but yeah, I think it's probably fine. And you know what? Like, maybe we don't even need... That's the thing. Like, maybe I don't even need two sides of the track for this. Unless I'm going to do multiple passenger stations, which, I don't know. Like, again, I don't know how much longer I'm playing TF2, so... Because I kind of already conquered the Wild West. You know? It's okay. It's conquered. It's done. We're already done here. But let's just go with this for now, okay? So we want to, I think, hug it right up against this. If I can get you to hug this. Yeah, you don't want to, do you? You are really not into that. Okay. Yeah, you're definitely not into it. Let's see about maybe going like this. Can I get... there it goes. I want it to snap, you know, so they're right next to each other here. So can I get you to match up there? What's the speed there? It slows down to 80. So it has to do with elevation. And if I was to maybe drop this a little bit, it still goes to 80. Okay. So this is clearly not going to happen. I think there was a reason for this. Okay, so we're just gonna go straight across this canyon then. We're just gonna do it like this. Just mirror it, but a little bit further away from it, slightly lower. But it gets us all the way out here and maintains the maximum speed in both directions, which means I'm not limited to anything. So cool. So then eventually, can I snap to this? Man, I'd really like to get down there and snap to this. Can I? Because now I'm like way above it, right? So I got to drop this down at some point. So let's maybe try to lower this a little bit here. There. All right, so this is what I want to get to, right about like that. Slows down to 178. Can I raise that up? Yeah. 178 is still the limit on that. Interesting. What if I stretch you out? You know, something like... I'm just trying to snap it, man. Come on. Oh, now we're too low. Gonna raise it up here. Raise up, up. Right there. Okay, so let's say I want to connect like that. Can we have our speed? Yes, we can. Okay, that's gonna take care of the speed. And then I'll just have you go like this. Perfect. And then over through here. So I know, a bit of a change of pace there, wasn't it? You got a time lapse, and then you got this, you know, I did like 3.5 hours of gameplay in that span of 15 minutes. But this is the kind of stuff that, you know, kind of stuff I've been up to. There you go. You can see what it takes now, as if you didn't already know. Some of you guys know all too well because you have like 1,000 hours plus in this game. But there you go. I've now ran passenger trains to every single place. Actually, no, because I have this not connected yet. So for this, I need to figure out whether I'm separating it still. And I feel like I still am. You know, I got these two tracks going this way for passenger stations, right? And what this does, because it's a stop anyway, it's going to scoot as fast as it can to this track, to where this one comes in a little bit further away because, again, I don't want it to slow down yet. But this one's not at the speed yet. Then it's going to merge all the way over to this side. So we already have this running all the way over to here. And same thing with this. We already have this tied in to where it merges, okay? So all these merges already happen. All the signals are already in place. Passenger trains should get to these two tracks, and eventually they'll get over here. So the question is now, how do I get these two tracks to, you know, get on the right side of that? And I'm kind of thinking I don't need to do it quite as strictly as I've done. So one of the things I'm thinking about doing here, because I wanted the ability, of course, for trains, like passenger trains here, like they need to get on this track so that they have the ability to go that way, but they're also crossing here to go that direction. So that's the same thing that this side's doing. It has the ability to come from this side, but I'm pretty sure that is not a one-way signal. No way to tell, though, I guess. But it has the ability to go from both directions. It can go this way and this way. Okay, so that's it. Connected everything up. You guys saw a little mini time lapse there. We got everything connected. I did have one train that was sort of stuck for a little bit here. Just had to add a little wooden section here just to let him transition. But that, after that point, that is not needed anymore, so we'll just get rid of it. And I think this area looks a little cleaner than it did before. There's a lot less crissy-crossing going on, at least. Scooting everything down. And, you know, all the cargo will use this side, all the passengers will use this side. If this city wants to expand, I will permit it, okay? I'm gonna permit you to expand, but we're gonna have you make sure that you're going. Oh. You know what? If you're gonna expand, it looks like you're gonna have to do it with a bridge. Tell you what, I'll let you do it, but you're gonna have to bridge, okay? So we're gonna say probably here, okay? And then what we'll end up doing is, okay, going about like this. Okay. It's a really, really big bridge. That's a bit overkill on the bridge, okay? I don't need to go quite that extreme. Wish I could go smaller than this. But it seems like that's just the way it is. Can I drop it lower? Not a chance, okay. It's gonna have to be about here then. That seems okay to me. That seems all right. All right, if you guys want to expand this way, ugh, look at how it Jags goes that way. Well, whatever. It'll do what it does. We'll let it do that. And then, Jags? No, it zigs and zags. That's what it does. Well, you go all the way to here, and then you want to expand from that point, and be my guest. All right, so passenger trains are going to be set up for everything. I don't have that done yet, of course, but we can set it up to where it goes to basically every city is what I'd like to do. In the next video, we'll start getting some stuff sent over to Glendale. I keep saying this. We're going to get boxcars, okay? We have like seemingly infinite money as long as I'm, not spending faster than it's coming in. So everything is super profitable right now. And so we'll just get in and get that hooked up, get passengers going to Pittsburgh, and we're just gonna have trains going all over the place. And I think it'll work out. Okay. So thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. The new video, whenever that is, I don't know when. Maybe a couple days, maybe once a week. I don't know. But I would like to continue this. So if you guys are into it, hit the like button. Show me that you like it, okay? And tell me in the comments that you like it, because that helps the algorithm and stuff too. So I'm told. Okay. Take it easy. Bye-bye.